Hey, book besties. As you know, every month I take part in a preview night where I have a stack of books that I would like to read for the next month. And I read the first chapter of every single one of those books. And I decide if I want to read the book. And then the ones that I do want to read, I rank in which order that I would like to read them. So, priority of how I want to read them. Well, unfortunately, this last month, my mental health has not been in a good place. Mostly due to an injury that has left my thumb almost completely immobile. And it's been very difficult, and unfortunately my reading has suffered a little bit, and to keep me from wanting to just give it up completely until I feel better, I am changing up how I'm going to do the next month. So usually I would pick books and I would just, by the end of the next month, I want them done. But due to my lower mental health, the books that I had previewed for my February reading really didn't get read. But I still want to read these books, and I also still have tons of other books I still want to read. So I'm just gonna pick one up and just keep going and read until this pile is done, which this pile will get bigger. Like all of us readers, our TBRs will never end. Like we will never see the day when our TBR has 0 books on it. So the goal, I do have a small goal in mind that I hope by the end of April that this current list and stack sitting in front of me will be done, or at least started and like near the end of the pile. But I'm not going to stress out. I'm just going to let my mood reading kind of take over. I'm not going to hold an end date in mind for myself just for the time being. And if something changes and I'm feeling better, then I'll go back to how I've been doing it up to this point. So first off, I want to show you the books that I have started, I am currently into, and more than likely will finish by February 28th. The first is Onyx Storm. I actually only have like 8 chapters left. The only reason this has taken me so long is actually because I struggle with fantasy, and this one was just kind of a lot to process. I actually struggled with Iron Flame just a little bit, so I wasn't too shocked that this one was a struggle for me to just process and get through. But I'm loving it, and the only thing I'm probably gonna hate about this book so far, I've been warned that I'm gonna need probably tissues, is that I'm gonna have to wait 2 years for the next one. But thankfully we're gonna have that TV series in between. So yeah, so stay tuned for my reviews of these, and my reviews go up on both Goodreads and Fable. I need to link those in my bio, so just keep checking back and I'll get those up there for you. The second one is The Measure, and I got to chapter like 5 today while running errands because I got this from Libby in audiobook, which I like having some of the books that I have physical copies of or even digital copies of. I like having an audiobook too because my commute to work, my job does include a lot of driving, so sometimes I'll have an earbud in if I'm not needed by my partner, or if I'm trying to stay awake on a long drive down a really boring highway. So I like having audiobooks. That's what I did today since my kids were napping in the back seat while I ran those errands. And this is amazing. And honestly, I'll probably finish this one before the end of February as well. Next is Finale. Now, this one's a little bit thicker, so I'm not going to stress out if I don't finish it by February, but if I finish it in February, I'll be excited. But honestly, probably by the beginning of next week, this one will probably be done. And I hope that by the time I have this done, my turn for the holiday novella spectacular will be ready. So that I will squeeze that one in there because I do want to finish this series so I can be ready to start Once Upon a Broken Heart. So next are the books that I have already previewed that they were on my intended to be finished in February that I never got to. These would probably be the priority reads for March. I would like to read these ones first. The only thing that will change that is if something from these stacks entices me a little bit more, or if I start coming up on a due date from a library book, like if I can't renew it, those will kind of knock these books down. So first of all is Eat, Pray, Love, The Mistake, and Sunkissed, as well as the next two books in the Kings of Sin series. So I read the King of Pride this month. So next is the King of Greed and the King of Sloth, and the King of Envy comes out, I think, the end of March. So I kind of want to be ready for that. Travis and Pucking Sweet. Now, I'm not going to stress out if I'm not able to finish this one before its due date, since we have until, I think it's like midsummer or fall when Pucking Strong comes out. So honestly, if I come up with the due date of this one, I'll probably just return it and wait my turn again. So the rest of the books that I have are the ones I will be previewing with, I'll be in the comment section. I won't be on the live for both, for Reading with Rhea. She has both a TikTok channel and an Instagram and a YouTube, so you should check her out. I'll put her name in the comments. I'll tag her in this, so if you guys want to check out her video or participate in her preview night on February 28th, I'll be in there in the comments. Here's the books I will be previewing and then ranking against the books that I know I already want to read from this month. So we have the Court of the Vampire Queen and What Have You Done? These ones will probably be to the top of my list since these do have a due date. They're from my book match, and I still want to be able to have the option of having my March book match. So these ones will probably be at the higher end of the list. Then I have Lightlark, Once Upon a Broken Heart. I might put this off to the side and not necessarily rank this into the lineup until I know that I've read both Finale and Spectacular. Fate Be Changed, Dangerous Secrets, The Graham Effect. Now this one will be more geared towards April, as I am buddy reading Bunny with some TikTok friends in April. The Fortunes of Jaded Women. I have finally been talked into starting Zodiac Academy. I'm going to go in this with an open mind, and if it starts to feel like it's too much for me, since I do kind of struggle with fantasy a little bit, especially high fantasy, I am not going to stress it, and I may shelf this permanently or continue on it very spread out, probably over the rest of my life. I haven't read a nonfiction in a while, so I grabbed Kiki Palmer's Masters of Me. Bookshops and Bone Dust. Since I loved Lattes and Legends and Lattes, I really wanted to read this since it's like a prequel. And a good palate cleanser, which is something I may need these next couple months. Blood of Hercules. I got two more books from the Never After series. So I got Hexed and Scarred. I think I'm most excited about this one. So far, I've read Hooked and Twisted. I absolutely adore Twisted, and so far it is my favorite. This may change that because I like what this has been based off of. Next is the Blue Moon series. Now this isn't even all the books. I think there's like 10 altogether. I just finished book 1 as a buddy read. I'm gonna jump into book 2 and book 3. I actually might read them simultaneously because I think their timelines do overlap, as these are the next two Pierce brothers. Now, instead of going to book 4 after that, I'm going to actually read, I believe this is book 8. No, this is book 7. So this is actually the 3 Pierce brothers. So the first book is I think the middle Pierce brother. And then this one is the oldest Pierce brother, and then this is the youngest Pierce brother. This is actually their parents' love story. So it's actually the Blue Moon prequel. So even though it's book 7, it's the prequel. So I'm going to jump right into that since I obviously know these two are going to get together because they have 3 sons, but I want to kind of hear their whole journey. So I will be jumping into this one after I finish book 3. And last but definitely not least is the Lakefront Billionaire series from Lauren Asher. So I have Love Redesigned and Love Unwritten. So let me know if you've read any of these books, if there's anything you feel like I should read. And just know that if you are not in a good place with your mental health, I am definitely somebody you can talk to. It is something that's very important to me, of checking in with those that mean something to you, whether it's for your own mental health or for theirs. And just know, don't stress the big stuff. Things will happen as they happen. If you can fix it, fix it. If you can alter or change something that happens, do that. But if you can't, let it live, let it go. That's kind of what I've been having to work on this month, because the things affecting me, I currently do not have control, and I just kind of let things go how they need to go. And if reading is your passion, let it help you through it, because that's what I hope that I'm going to be able to do this next 2 months. And I hope that you guys have a great March and April and the rest of your year.